potential.
No, I don't think anybody
In
did.
2007, Justin TV was remarkable for a lot of reasons. Because unlike many of its other internet competitors, Justin TV seemed to be undamaged by the 2008 financial crash. Just after 3 years.
I think it was the opposite. I think the 2008 financial crisis is what made it successful. Because like now people can't go, well, you can't afford to go out and drink. That's like $80. You just sit home and you watch this guy and do whatever. I think that the worse the economy gets, the better it is for content creation.
Being on the internet, Justin TV had become the most visited site globally. But perhaps the greatest part of Justin TV was its core grassroots creative origin. This open-minded artistic philosophy enabled a renaissance of live content. Streamers and viewers alike flooding into the platform. Wow. With a made-for-artist by artist paradigm, the site was perfectly poised to become the juggernaut that it is today. And while everything seemed to be going great, there was one major problem. How could Justin Can and his team make any money from this? For several years, Justin
Here we go.
TV had been running on a loss in order to put as many resources as possible into their growth, which meant, like most Silicon Valley startups, all their monetization relied on venture capitalists. But in the years following the 2008 crash, investors no longer regarded Justin TV's user base as sufficient for funding. Instead, investors were now looking for much more than a large user base. They needed to see that a company as a true, proper business. So
And it's also like back then, that was around the same time around where like the ad thing of like a lot of ads on YouTube started as well. So like now it's like you have to keep up with the times.
And this team would have to prove that Justin TV could become profitable, or they died trying. This situation caused immense dread for Justin and his co-founders. This had never been a problem before, and everything seemed to be going great, with the company raising over $7 million in investments before 2010. But now with their continued growth, their high running costs were now outpacing their income, putting the company into dire straits, and investors were ready to pull out. And so in response to this challenge, Justin and his team laid out a solid goal for the company. They would need to clear $1 million in revenue per month. This number would be enough to cover the costs
That's a lot.
So desperate that he promised the company a holiday to Hawaii if they could achieve this goal.
That's
but this wasn't an easy goal. Almost no websites were creating $1 million in revenue per month. This was a staggering challenge. How could Justin and his team achieve this? Well, the fastest and easiest option were ads. And so Justin TV began to be spammed with ads. To the literal point that there were even adverts on their 404 page. However, at the time, this was the only way they could keep their investments. Without this, the company would be bankrupt. And unfortunately for Jason and his team, the problems would start.
That's what TV's origin. That's what sucks about these ads, right? Is that nobody likes watching ads. But if you don't have the ads, how is something going to happen? How are you going to pay for the content? Like that, it's only come full circle. You only know. And like that's just what happens. Yeah, it sucks.
And artistic, the business foundations were very weak, which would become very apparent in 2010. The main issue being international viewership. If the countries were outside of North America, Justin TV would lose money. It was clear that Justin TV didn't have a sustainable business model. The only solution to this problem was to selectively block international viewers on a random basis. However, somehow this approach actually worked. Cutting costs was still not harming international growth. And after a lean 6 months of cost cutting,
bro, wait, what? So like you telling me some dude in Sweden logging on is playing Russian roulette? That's actually just like such a good idea.
And penny pinching, the company hit $1 million per month in revenue, doubling their revenue figures. They had done the impossible, and so Justin's promised holiday would happen soon after, and the celebrating seemed like it would never end. The Justin TV team would go out to Hawaii, partying endlessly every night. They had reached the goal point, getting drunk, enjoying themselves, making bank, revolutionizing the internet and making the mark on the world. Anything was possible. But while the team would endlessly party, big problems were bubbling under the surface. And little did the team know, the team would now be hit with an even bigger challenge.
DMCA? And like copyright shit?
You see, Justin TV had always had a tentative relationship with copyright, as at the time, it was very hard to police the thousands of streams running on the platform. The company had reached a deal with Fox to implement a primitive form of content. However, this was still not enough for companies. And after all the partying, Justin TV was sued in 2011 by Zuffa, a promoter for American sports. They alleged that Justin TV had let its streamers broadcast pay-per-view UFC content on the site.
Some things never change. Bro, like, I don't know how many soccer games and UFC fights I've watched on Twitch. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, I've seen so many of this shit. Yeah, still with UFC.
However, it became clear that Zuffa was just trying to exploit Justin TV's unsteady business model. They knew the team were partying and had no experience in lawsuits. But when the case was brought to the court, it became clear how out of proportion the claims were.
Faklerne, skiltene, som vi har placeret oppe i tårnet, ikke? De hænger stadig i luften. Hvordan kan det lade sig gøre?
They had escaped the bullet that almost killed YouTube. It seemed like all the problems had disappeared, and the company would keep on growing. Justin TV seemed to be unstoppable. It was becoming one of the biggest rivals to YouTube. The gaming section in particular had grown exponentially, far surpassing other categories on the websites. So in response to this, Justin TV would spawn a new subsidiary company, Twitch. In 2011, Twitch would be solely focused on esports and gaming channels. And as expected, the new website was a hit, reaching 3 million unique users expectations. Twitch had inadvertently become Justin's golden egg. But not just for Justin. Twitch was fulfilling the dreams of gaming enthusiasts around the world, with gamers around the world being able to make as much money from their passion as they wanted.
That's one of the crazy fucking things, right? Is like some people were able to just make so much fucking money. It's like if you were going and you were getting, I remember people would get so mad whenever KCTron would get donations. Like straight up, like I remember this from like 2000 and like Miss Pandaria. They would get so fucking mad.
The only bar for entry seemingly being the creativity and personality of the streamers. These golden years catapulted Twitch forward.
No shot.
Real creativity and personality of the streamers. These golden years.
Oh my god. There he is.
Oh god.
Holy shit, man. Oh my, bro, is that Soda? Is that Soda and Rectal? Holy fuck, no way. Oh my god.
Forward, fully realizing Justin's dream of a place for streamers and entertainers free to perfect their craft, unimpeded by corporate micromanagement and censorship. And this wasn't just this was the internet. And so years later, Twitch had gone from 3 million monthly users to 20 million. But even this
Twitch started popping off. Like it went wild. No, people like back then, because like you gotta understand, you know what people on the internet really want? They want to be able to say whatever the fuck they want to say. They want to be able to do whatever the fuck they want to do. And that's it. And anybody who gets in the way of that, anybody who tries to tell them, nope, they say, fuck you, we don't want to do this. Yeah, that's it. They want to be able to do whatever and say whatever the fuck they want to say.
Milestone was later surpassed, with the site growing to an absolutely crazy 55 million by 2014, making up 1.8% of internet traffic and surpassing Valve, Facebook, and even Amazon. Twitch's rise.
Yeah, back in like 2014, that's whenever I first really kind of I started making videos and stuff. That was really
how much people found. However, this insane growth didn't come without its caveats. The Twitch team was still relatively small, and yet the site was impossible to manage. It was clear they had to sell the company. They didn't have a business framework. Ever since Justin TV, it seemed always poorly managed. But with all Twitch's growth, it became clear that the company was ready to be sold, and Google was the first suitors. They approached Twitch with an offer over the $1 billion mark. Justin and his team were over the moon. They'd achieved the Silicon Valley dream. They were the new YouTube, the new Facebook. They would be able to sit back and retire and live a life of luxury. However, just as their dreams were becoming true, Google had to back out at the last minute due to monopoly worries from the ownership of YouTube. Although luckily for Justin and the team, Google wasn't the only one interested. Yahoo and Facebook were also making big offers. With one of the
like how does Yahoo have any money? I feel like the only time anybody ever goes to Yahoo is whenever they open up their grandma's computer and somehow it's the homepage. Like, I don't understand. Like, how the fuck, like, who does Yahoo?
Twitch co-founders being personally called by Mark Zuckerberg, who offered $50 million in cash investments, with both Facebook and Yahoo offering over $1 billion for Twitch. However, both of these offers were declined due to differences in visions on the future of the platform. Justin and his co-founders believed in Twitch. They believed in Twitch creating a new free internet.
Bro, this guy turned down $1 billion offer? Bro, like, imagine how big your dick has to be to turn down $1 billion offer. Holy shit!
And so staying true to their ideals,
wow,
because they believed that they would destroy the culture they had created. Yahoo, for example, had offered these companies because they believed that they would destroy the
Is that my business partner right there? Oh my god.
En lortestyr det samme. Jeg tror, der var...
Ain't that some shit?
Der var sgu nok 80 meter eller sådan noget
For
deroppe.
example, had offered us some hundreds of millions ahead of Amazon, but the deal fell through because they didn't see gaming as the primary market for Twitch.
Big
Despite
mistake.
the fact that they could have taken this money and lived a very, very lavish lifestyle for the rest of their lives. Instead, the founders' vision for the company was worth much more than that. And so in the end, it was surprisingly Amazon that agreed that they wouldn't change the general makeup of the site. Although if the Twitch team had known what Amazon would do to Twitch in the coming years, they might have also reconsidered this option. Twitch for $970 million in 2014. A small number by no means, but still.
I remember whenever that happened, I was surprised. Like, I was like, why did Amazon, like, I thought Amazon sells, like, fucking books and shit. Like, oh, what are they buying Twitch for?
Not really what was offered by other companies, but for the founders, this didn't matter. The true hidden reason for Twitch being sold was that the founders had...
Bro, actually, let me go back.
This didn't matter. The true hidden...
Who was it? Fucking King Richard. Ninja. Delore. The keyboard legend. Oh my god. I love seeing the old screenshots, man.
Tired of running the company. They didn't care about setting up better systems of management. They had lost their passion. They were exhausted by their team being corporatized. Because the founders only cared about freedom and creativity. They didn't care about the corporate management side of business. In fact, so much so that by the time the deal actually took place, Justin was nowhere to be seen. Instead, he was working on an art project for a music festival far away from the increasingly stressful world of business.
Bro, this guy fucking, oh my god. This guy just straight up fucking turned down $1 billion offer. And then just pieces out. He's like, I'm just gonna go do some art shit somewhere else. Dude, he does not give a fuck, man. Turn on 1080p. Is it not on there? Let me see. Quality, 1080p. Here we go.
It was clear that his heart lay in the creative grassroots side of the business. He just wanted to take his money, get out, and start a new life. And so the deal went forward, and Twitch, once an independent hub of creativity, was now just another BenQ puppet. After the acquisition, Justin left the company and began working on funding and running new startups ever since. And true to his creative side, he now runs a small YouTube channel.
Oh my god, der ligger en stor del af tårnet nede på jorden også.
That's really cool, man. That guy's just doing, that guy does whatever the fuck he wants to do. That's awesome. Like, yeah, he does whatever the fuck he wants to do.
Follow their creative passions. In fact, only one of the original Twitch founders, Emma Shear, still works at the company.
What does this guy do? Like, what is this? What does he do? Like, I feel like I never hear anything about him. Like, he just sits there. You know what it reminds me a lot of? It's like, has anybody ever been in a guild where, like, the guild master doesn't log on anymore, but it's still the guild master and nobody leaves? I feel like that's kind of like what happened. Yeah, he just got left with guild master, and everybody else is just kind of like, yeah, like me. Yeah, exactly, like me.
CEO. But despite his efforts to steer in the direction it wants to, Twitch can't help but fall victim to the problems that come from big tech holding the reins.
Yeah,
because after the acquisition, Twitch's fate was sealed. From banning popular streamers by the truckload and mismanaging copyright and advertising on the platform, Twitch under Amazon has had a fair share of controversies. The first and most pressing of these issues was censorship. And now this really isn't a surprise considering all big tech companies eventually adopt a draconian censorship model.
I think that is generally true. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that there's a certain level of censorship, and then there's also a certain level of, like, harassment. Now, I am pro personal censorship. This is generally what I think is that you should be able to, if you don't want to see something, you should not have to see it. That is your right to not have to see it. You know, if, like, you don't like science, you can blacklist the word science in fucking Twitter, and you'll never see that fake shit again.
But Twitch's censorship is noticeably worse than any other big tech giant. And the problem lies...
Do you guys think that's true? Do you guys think that's true, that it's worse than any other... Like, I feel like... YouTube's worse? No, I don't think YouTube is worse. I don't know. I mean, like, maybe. Let's see why he says it.
with Twitch's moderation. You see, ever since the platform properly took off, there were always too many messages to keep track of, let alone moderate.
Sure was.
But for advertisers, this wasn't good enough. They didn't want to advertise their content on, quote, controversial topics. So Amazon tussled with this issue for years after they acquired Twitch, trying and failing to suppress its culture of free expression. And this is for years after they acquired Twitch, trying and failing to suppress its...
Bro. Look who it
Og til gengæld
is.
den her etage er en
Holy
mindre.
fucking shit.
Jeg tror
Read
til
the
gengæld den
chat,
her
read the
etage er
chat.
en mindre.
Spurg about
Det
to
virker
be
som
a
om jeg har lavet
hate
den
word. Banning VODs again.
Kortere.
We can call him Baldy
Minder.
for another
Blot
2
for lav.
months, boys.
Det er
Nice. Twitch's closing. Where do we go? YouTube? Fuck those snowflakes. No more McConnell then. Off to YouTube. The end. Orwell's Think Police. What is this dog shit? Meanwhile, streamers can't play music. Cancel culture strikes again. Bro, people were not having it. They were not about to have this shit. Oh my god. They were mad.
Culture of free expression. And this is why Twitch has become very infamous for banning streamers who displease the company policy, whilst also promoting popular streamers despite their flagrant abuses of the terms of service. This issue became...
I think that Twitch, like, the fact is that, like, there's a certain amount of common sense with this, and there's also a certain amount of like, mismanagement. Because a lot of times people get away with stuff, and you just never hear about it because they're not really that popular, so it's not a news story if they get away with it. I feel like most of the time, a lot of these, like, breaking of TOS, and like, also, like, if you're a really popular streamer, this is the same with any company, right? I mean, you're gonna get treated different. Like, you can make mistakes that other people can't make because you make the company more money. Oh, that's not fair! Well, of course it's not fucking fair. No shit!
Particularly noticeable in December 2020 with the outright banning of words such as virgin, incel, and simp. But Twitch does...
That didn't happen.
In December 2020 with the outright banning of words such as virgin, incel...
Okay, it did happen? Alright. I think that people that complain about hot tub streams are virgins. I think that people that tier 3 sub to them are simps. And I think people that are commenting and complaining about what I'm saying right now about hot tub streams in my chat are incels. I guess we'll see if I get banned tomorrow, right? Because if I get banned tomorrow, then it means that I'm right. Or that he's right. But if not, then it looks like he's not right. Yeah, this is not. See ya, guys. Yeah, guys, as I said, I heard there's new PoE season coming out. Feeling a break coming on.
And simp. But Twitch doesn't just ban simple words like this. Twitch has amended misinformation standards and said that users who repeatedly disseminate misleading material will be banned.
I feel like, has that ever really happened? Like, I don't, has that really happened before? Because, like, I mean, Greek, like, I feel like to a certain extent, like, how is it that Greek can exist and misinformation is getting banned? You see what I'm saying? Like, Hassan got banned from. Yeah, but like that's some different. That's some racist shit. Like that's different. Like on hand, my stream or last stream, yeah, whatever. This is Greek got banned from. Yeah, and what's this here? Greek. Because it's not information. They know what it really is exactly. And they banned Trump? Yeah, but like they banned Trump because they don't like Trump. That's what they said. They said they banned he said about Mexicans or something like that 2 years ago. It was just a fucking, that was a virtue signal. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, yeah, absolutely not. What's this here? Do you think Twitch has autopilot since COVID started? People got banned for saying WoW's not pay to win? I wish. Why is Destiny banned? Honestly, I think that there are very few streamers that Twitch might not actually like. I think that if there's any one streamer that Twitch actually doesn't like, is Destiny. Destiny's been on this fucking platform for fucking a million years, right? Destiny is like, you know, whether you like Destiny or not, you got to admit, this guy was a fucking, was the founder of the site. He was there getting mad about StarCraft 2. This shit was like fucking 12 years ago. And so he was back, and so there's probably people that have been working there for 10 years. They hated it whenever they started. So Doc, they didn't ban Doc for misinformation. There's no evidence for that to be the case. Yeah, there's no, like, what the fuck are you like, they banned Doc. Doc talked about conspiracy, so have I. I've got, like, anything that, like, I am living proof that, like, saying crazy shit on stream won't get you banned. I say insane shit all the time. I never get banned.
To the New York Times, Twitch will now restrict, quote, damaging disinformation superspreaders who regularly share misinformation on or off Twitch. With Twitch,
like, as I said, has there ever been a case of this happening? Gutex? Ah! But did they ban his account, or did they just remove his emote? Because I thought they just removed his emote. Yeah, a Phantom Lord, he's banned. But did he get banned for that specifically? I don't know. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I don't know what the details for that are. That actually could be a good example. I didn't think of that.
Noting in a blog post that, quote, every day people come together on Twitch to establish communities that celebrate a range of hobbies, passions, and abilities. We're proud of Twitch's ability to bring people together, but we don't feel those who exploit internet platforms to propagate false, damaging information have a place in our community, end quotes. And this is why in very recent years, we're starting to see the mass banning of streamers, with even the major Twitch streamer Dr. Disrespect being permanently banned after just mentioning David Icke in the stream. Yes, you could.
I find this video is very misleading, and I think that it draws a lot of conclusions that are totally unfounded. Like the idea that Twitch streamers don't get banned for blatantly breaking the TOS, like really big streamers, and I think that really what he did is that he showed an example of XQC and another example of Pokimane. Like, you can't just insinuate something like that and then not use it, not actually express, like, why this is. And also, like, doesn't this directly contradict the fact that other people are getting banned? And even in his own picture that he used as a pop-up, it showed XQC got banned for, that was, like, his 5th time. So, like, it's clear that obviously the TOS is being upheld for streamers, even if they're big or small. And also, I don't think that, like, Dr. Disrespect didn't get banned for talking about David Icke. Like, that didn't happen. Actually, I cannot prove it negative. You're right. Like, actually, I'm not going to say it did not happen, because I don't know. However, nobody knows that it did happen. And there are a lot of examples of other people saying other crazy shit, like David Icke, and them not getting banned. So there's no precedent for this to occur, and is simultaneously being presented as if it is the truth.
Can't even mention thought criminals on Twitch anymore. Let alone any opinion.
You can mention Dr. Disrespect. You can mention Ice Poseidon. That's not true. It's not true.
That might go against Twitch's moderation team. But then who is in control of Twitch's moderation team? Who's setting these terms of service? Well, once you understand Twitch's moderation team, everything else begins to click together, and it starts to make more sense why Twitch's censorship has quickly become so extreme, even beating YouTube in its draconian levels of censorship. For example, the people in charge of Twitch's censorship team are people like Steph, a prominent member of Twitch's Safety Advisory Council. Her position is very powerful. Steph has the power to control Twitch's terms of service and permanently ban users from the site. Now, who is...
No, that's not... Like, it's just like, are you kidding me? That's not, like... we've got to go... Let's go back, and we're gonna pause every time something was said that's not true.
Censorship. Are people like Steph Lower, a prominent member?
They're not in charge of the censorship team. This was clearly a PR move to get good press for bringing people on that are part of minority groups. These people probably have no power and no influence. And this was even confirmed by Devin Nash whenever he was invited to the project but declined because he didn't like it. And he thought that it would have no power or impact. So even somebody who was involved in this directly and declined it said this wasn't the case. Said people like it's not them. He's playing games with words. It's clearly what it is. Okay, here we go again.
Of Twitch's Safety Advisory Council. Her position is very powerful.
There's no evidence of that at all. There's no evidence that anything that happened on Twitch was an outcome of the Trust and Safety Council. There's no evidence or even indication for that. And I think that there is an indication in the other way.
Power to control Twitch's terms of service and permanently ban users from the...
They don't have any power to control the terms of service that is explicitly stated or known at all. We'll advise. This does not, like, advising on something does not mean that they're writing it themselves. And it also doesn't mean that they can explicitly ban somebody. Like, listen to what he said again.
Very powerful. Steph has the power to control Twitch's terms of service and permanently ban users from the site.
That's just not true.
Now who?
Like, it's just like, what do you mean? Like, didn't Delora get banned from this console? No, Delora got banned for self-harm because he broke a keyboard on his head. Like,
Steph is a person who believes they are a deer and perform rituals to be in tune with their, quote, deer spirit. And if that's not good enough, hear me out here. They also try to achieve, quote, deergasms. This is who's in control of Twitch's censorship team.
who cares?
And I'm sure...
Like, I'm sorry, but, like, I don't think this is a big deal. Like, yeah, a lot of people think weird things. It's like, this is not a person, like, the only problem that I have with anything like this is if this person is having a material impact on my life. The fact is,